What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and joining me tonight, it's Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey. All right, stat that I just saw from Joey's spreadsheet that kind of makes me sad being a Minnesotan nowadays is the Minnesota Timberwolves have the lowest winning percentage of any NBA franchise with 39.4. Only franchise under 40%. So yeah,
You can only go up from there. And also get minutes tonight, laying down those sweet lines. It's a lawn boss, Joey McCrowski. Get that, Joe.
I don't know if I love laying down the sweet lines, Titus. I might need to work out.
I don't know. Hey, it came to me, top of the dome. And you know what? It's going to be loose tonight.
That might mean something different.
I didn't say you were picking them up.
Oh.
I didn't say you were picking them up. I said you were laying them down.
Fair enough.
Chopping them up. You were chopping them up. No,
I'm sharing.
Let's keep it. All right, Sharon. So you're ready to go tonight, Joey.
Yes, sir.
You have a glorious doc for us coming in later. And, also making a sound as delicious as Dove chocolate. Super producer, Adam, the professional Bruns. Adam, how the levels tonight?
Sounding fantastic. Better than ever.
Oh, you sounded low for us.
you need to sound a little bit better.
Ooh.
Oh,
Now.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Here I am. I'm right here.
Ooh,
I'm right here.
That deep, soulful tone. And so tonight is a very fun night. We are doing something we like to call the NBA Roundtable. I did not discuss this with you guys, but I want to make this our official kickoff of the year. This is season 2 now, I think, officially. Season 2, episode 1. And then every year we'll try to do something similar like this, either get these guys back or whoever else wants to come in. I haven't explained yet is that we have some guests tonight. I think we have 3 guests tonight. Anthony and Pat are returning guests, and our new guest, Richie, frequent contributor to the show, always comes with the hot questions, keeping us on our toes. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring these guys in with our first topic of the night. The first thing we're going to talk about tonight is, where did that go? What are you looking most forward to? So this is the thing that we're all kind of looking forward to in the league. And you know what? Let's start with the newcomer. Rich, we're bringing you in. How's it going, Rich? Welcome to the show.
How's it going? Thanks for having me on. Long-time listener, big fan.
Yeah, we're excited to have you, man. So, let's real quick. We'll just since you're new, we'll get your quick stats. Team you root for, kind of like are you diehard? Are you kind of casual? What's the deal, man?
I would say somewhere in between diehard and casual. I'm a Bulls fan. I've been a Bulls fan for a long time. Been an NBA fan in general for a long time. I like to play. Started off with Kobe and AI and continuing there.
Into this generation. So what are you looking forward to most in this season, whether a team or storyline or anything in particular?
I feel like there's a lot of decent moves this season. I'm looking forward to the Bulls. I think we added a lot. We haven't been as relevant in these last few years, so I think we added some pieces that are going to bring us into the conversation. I'm looking forward to the West getting healthy again. I'm hoping people could come back because I feel like a lot of teams in the West, they're just struggling with their health. I'm looking forward to the East because I think the East is pretty open. I mean, you got the 2 juggernauts at the top, I guess, but then when it comes to the Celtics, when it comes to Miami, let's see what the Hawks do because they came not out of nowhere, but I don't think anyone expected them to do as well as they did in the playoffs last year. So I'm hoping they carried it over to this season and let's see them do well. I think the East is really exciting this year. That's what I'm looking forward to the most.
The races, yeah, definitely going to be exciting. I know the Lakers for sure and Golden State getting healthy are going to make the West really, really interesting. So let's keep moving along, get all the guys in here. Let's bring in Anthony, returning guest. Anthony, how's it going, man?
What's up? Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes, glad to have you back. We're looking forward to hearing. What are you looking forward to this season? What's your number one thing, man?
Number one, I would say the Bulls. I want to see, they got some new pieces with Lonzo and DeRozan. I think Lonzo's going to have a breakout year this year, so I'm really looking forward to see how it all meshes together. Also, the Lakers. I want to see how that works out with Melo and Westbrook and Dwight Howard's back and Rondo. I want to see how that team works together in the West. And then I just want to see how everybody else in the West, like I said before, everyone's going to be healthy this year. So we just want to see. It's going to be a dogfight in the West, I feel like. And then the East, I just feel like the Nets and the Bucks are like the top dogs, and we want to see who else is going to battle out for those other spots below them.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think that's you hit it right in the head. Nets and Bucks are going to be an interesting battle throughout the whole thing here. Yeah, no, we can see him. He's a little clear. There we go. All right, sorry about that. Also, our last guest tonight. Let's bring him in. You know, Miss Patty. Oh, Pat, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thanks.
So, what are you looking forward to this season, man?
Well, it's tough. I think Richie kind of said the East. Anthony said the West and the East. So I don't know. That leaves me a whole lot to talk about here. But,
yeah, it's tough for you, the last one.
But I was going to say the East, too. I think, it'll be fun. The East has been kind of lackluster for like 20 years now. So I think this might be the strongest the East has been in a while, especially with the Nets and Bucks at the top. Then, the Heat could be interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The Sixers, we'll see how that all plays out, but that could be interesting. The Bulls looking strong. And I think it'll just be fun. I feel like every year, most of the top teams are in the West, and, those games often don't end until like after midnight. So I feel like I struggle to watch some of the best teams. So it'll be nice to be able to actually watch some of the best teams in the NBA without having to stay up real late.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you guys are kind of hitting all the spots here. I think it just seems like the races. Sounds like you guys are just ready for basketball to start. I think we're all about ready to go. I know for me personally, one thing in particular, I just want to watch Giannis this season. I want to watch him a lot. I want to see, did the championship, did it give him, that extra edge to now carry over and be that legit number one guy? And can he kind of go up against the Nets? The big three, however many of them are around. I think that's big for me. And then the other thing I'm really watching for is to see if Jamal Murray will make it back this season. I love the Nuggets. I was bummed when he got hurt last year, and seeing him in a healthy Nuggets would be very, very interesting to me. Joey, Chris, do you guys got anything to add to what you're most looking forward to this season?
Yeah, I've got a one person note. So I've jotted down here. I'm most excited for Luka's chase for MVP. So I'm hoping that we get a strong season on him. He started a little slow last year, had some injury time. So just hoping that he comes out strong and stays strong for the full season. I feel like this is our second or third year of people talking about him being a favorite for MVP and that, his time is coming. So I kind of just want to see that happen. I think we see it in a lot of short bursts. So just looking for the full body of work for a full season.
Yeah, I think I said it on the podcast. I think it's a lock. I think it's almost a lock that he's going to get this as long as he is healthy and plays good. Chris, how about you, man? You just want to
for the MVP? So going for the MVP race, I'm surprised you didn't mention Zach LaVine. For the MVP,
no.
Like if the Bulls do well enough, if everything goes according to plan, best case possible would be LaVine, not even most improved. I don't think he could get that anymore.
Hey, I still got a hot take
last
section.
year.
I still got
a
a hot take.
there's still hot takes to come. He's teasing. It's called a tease.
But my thing with this season, every single team, there's something to watch. Even the Magic even have Mo Bamba and Jalen Suggs, Scotty Barnes in Toronto. Even the Thunder with Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous, all these guys, everyone's got guys. The Spurs look good. Popovich is 26 wins away from becoming the all-time leader in head coaches over Don Nelson. So that's something to watch. And it's just like every single team has something. And I can't remember the last time we had it where every team has somebody to watch every single night. So this is the perfect time to launch a pod like this. I'm excited finally to launch season 2 for us. So
this is the launch
good timing
season 2
for us, I think.
No, I said, we talked about it, I think, on the 101 cast where, obviously Brooklyn and LA are the massive favorites, but I think this league is as level as it's been in a while. I think you're hitting it right, Chris, that there's a lot of really good players and really good teams that are out there, and it could be interesting. I mean, nobody's even touched on Phoenix, and they made the finals last year. So, who knows what they're going to be. But there's something well, also, too, I see there's a few people watching the stream. So if you are watching and you want to comment on your favorite thing, what you're looking forward to, just shoot us a comment. We can respond to that. So this is fun. Adam, hey, man.
Stream?
I don't know. Just all the streams, I think. This is new for us. We're using StreamYard for the first time.
So much
The
power
captain,
with
he's
this
got
StreamYard,
all
man.
the power.
Got all the power. Adam, you looking forward to anything this NBA season?
I am looking forward to all your comments. No, I mean,
Good answer.
right?
answer.
I know, right? No, I mean,
Are you going to be
it's-
watching games this year? Have we convinced you now that you're, editing a basketball podcast? You going to tune in for a Bulls game?
Sure.
That's a no.
This is what I'm gonna say. This is what I'm gonna say. Actually, since you guys have talked, if I've heard something on like whatever it be, like Twitter or the news or whatever, it's like I think I understand what they're talking about. So
We're doing our job.
We've done it.
We've done it.
We've
We've done
done
our
it.
you
We've
job.
get
made
to
it.
me, you must be doing a good job.
That's
We've-
thank you.
all-
That's all we're trying to do. We're trying to bring people in, talk hoops. We love it.
It's all the affirmation we need.
All right. So now we've talked about what we really love in the league. But now we got to get some other things. If you could change one thing about the league going forward, what would you do? Let's start with you, Patty, since you went last time. I'll give you the jump on this
Sure.
one.
Thanks. Yeah. So I have a lot of things I would change, but I'll stick with my main one, and then maybe if there's time later, I'll throw some more out there. But my biggest one, to me, I think this is just an obvious issue that would be super easy to fix. And to me, it's the idea of fouling out of games. I think that should be completely removed.
That.
I mean, just it's an entertainment product, and the idea that you could have your best superstar player in a pivotal playoff game, sitting out because he had too many fouls, especially when you consider how subjective foul calls are in the NBA. Like, there's constantly, if you're a big man battling down low, constantly calls could go either way. And if a ref just happens to a couple ticky-tack fouls early on, can completely, ruin your game plan and have a top player sitting out. So I think it's just a terrible rule. I understand you want to disincentivize players from fouling too much, but I think there's a lot of other options they have. They could say, like, after 6 fouls, every foul is like a technical where the other team gets 2 free throws and the ball back or whatever. I mean, there's tons of ways that you can punish too many fouls without making a star player sit out a pivotal game.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, it's been something I've thought about a lot because I agree with you. Like, keep the fouls. Like, they should be able to keep fouling, but you either get free throws, you get the ball back, or even like you do like a hockey where you can't play for 2 minutes or something.
Yeah,
something similar like that. That'd be cool. I'll give you guys a chance. Joey, Chris, you guys want to respond to that at all, or move on to the
I like the hockey idea for it. And I agree with Patio on this with the foul. I never thought about it for the NBA so much. I think it's a bigger problem in the NCAA game. You get 2 fouls in like 5 minutes, and then you're out for the half. But yeah, I'm down with that. I kind of like the hockey idea where just sit out for 2 minutes, and then you can come back. And maybe the technicals after there's 6 or 17 fouls. Maybe implement some kind of bonus rule like there is in college and the pros. But
yeah, I mean, we saw it in the finals with Ayton, where they were when he got in foul trouble that one game. I forget which game it was, game 3 or 4 or something like that. It changed the whole dynamic of the game. Joey, anything on that or?
I'm all in. I think we should tweet this at the commissioner and just. I think this is how we go global right here. We'll
get the Box Out Boys Army on it. All 7 of us right here.
We're gonna change the game. No fouling out.
I say tweet at Jeff Van Gundy. I could see him really getting on board with this and really pushing it.
That's a great call.
This is a Van Gundy move. All right, Richie, man. Rich, what would you do, man? What would you change?
I would change the reviews that they're doing now. Especially late game reviews. It can make the last 2 minutes of the game take like 45 minutes. I have a little daughter at home. I'm tired all the time. I don't need to stay up that late just watching whose small fingertip hit the ball at the very end. Obviously, some things need to be reviewed, but I don't think every single small thing needs to be reviewed. I got a controversial solution to this, which they'll never implement, but I like it. If you play basketball on the court, they do ball never lies. I think if it's not as important of a thing, maybe not within the last 2 minutes, but I think you do a ball never lies. It adds an aspect to the game. Have them shoot from the logos at the corners and the far near half court, and let's move on.
Just see respectful line, man. I like it.
I love it.
Shooting it out.
I feel like that could be great for like they should implement for that 3-on-3 tournament that they do.
Yeah, or an all-star game or something. There. Just let these.
Well, what's that rule? Yeah. Anyways.
We couldn't remember. I don't even remember what we didn't remember it as. Joey, what do you think on the reviews,
Eloy.
man? The Eloy. Yeah, that was the wrong one.
Man.
Craig Eloy.
Elam.
I like it. I think everybody is on board with that one. I think everybody. We saw it in a couple of the conference finals games, where just the ends of games, 30, 45 seconds took 20 minutes to a half hour. It's too much. If we're gonna go to this, route of reviewing, like Richie was saying, fingertip plays, then let's just move the whole game to some sort of robotic refereeing system. But part of the game is having some human aspects to it. And yeah, you just got to live with some of those things sometimes. So I'm all on board. I like the shootouts. Let's go for it. Let's just make this crazy. No fouling out, shootouts for reviews. Let's go crazy.
Let's go crazy. Make the league fun, man. I like that. All right, Anthony, let's go to you, man. If there's one thing you would change about the league, what would it be?
I had a few, but one probably was pushing back the 3-point line.
Oh,
I just feel like, nowadays everyone can shoot the 3 balls, so maybe make it a little more difficult. I mean, right now it's at 23 feet 9 inches, so maybe push it back to like 27. But I know
that's far.
I know the way the court's set up is kind of throws it off, but maybe not 27, but maybe like 26. But just make it a little further back, just to make it a little challenging.
Interesting.
I also said about what, Chris?
Sorry, keep going. No, keep going. Sorry.
I was saying about the All-Star game, maybe add like a 4-point shot to the All-Star game would be like kind of more exciting. They already shooting from like it has half court, so why not add like a 4-point shot to the All-Star game or something?
Be good.
See, I can see that. It'd be fun. I know, Pat, you said you had a couple more. You want to throw another one out there?
Sure. One is to, I say be quicker giving technicals to players complaining to the refs. I think it's a really bad look. I know people who used to be NBA fans and have kind of turned off with just sort of what players get away with. I think that's one thing where college basketball has a significant advantage, that you don't see the players, throwing tantrums at the refs after every call. I think it's a really bad look when you have like a star player in a playoff game not getting back on defense because they're too busy complaining to a ref. I think, if there's a stoppage in play, halftime, go over, have a conversation, say, hey, this guy's doing whatever. But I think you just be harsh about it. It's going to suck for a few weeks when you're seeing a bunch of technicals. But I think if you actually do it, the players will learn, I can't just complain all the time. And I think it'll just make the game more fun to watch.
I get behind that. That's certainly
They could
interesting.
take the power
I
back.
like that.
Adam, what you got, man?
So I was just looking up some things that general public would like to see.
There we go.
So, international goaltending. The current rule, or the
this
change
is
would be, once the ball hits the rim, it's fair game for either team. The offense can tip it from above. The defense can go up and tip it out or grab it. No more restrictions after the ball hits the rim. Apparently, Europe plays by this rule.
Yeah, that's how they play in
Yeah.
the Olympics.
The Olympics, yeah.
The Olympics played by it.
Shortened season.
I'm all for it.
So I'm just gonna do highlights.
Yeah, go ahead, highlight them.
Otherwise, I'll be reading. I don't know where this is coming from. They're like, the verdict is 4 out of 10. I don't know who the 10 people are that they asked about this, but I'm just gonna say
What's the website here?
lineups.com.
Okay.
Don't know. It looked really popular. There's a lot of pictures. Shortened season. Moved the draft after free agency.
I've heard that one.
Officially go positionless.
That would also be interesting.
Do the all-star
what does it mean?
draft.
But
That's kind
No
of
more
already a thing.
restrictions based off position.
No more
So
what?
It says no more restrictions based off position.
I think it's for like the awards and stuff and
Oh, yeah,
All-Star
for-
games
that
and stuff like
should
that.
be-
Like you
yeah.
just the 5 best players go in the All-Star game. You don't have
Fair.
And then other things like do the all-star draft on the court before the game.
that. I'm all for.
Yeah.
They need to do
Great.
that'd be
Seed,
cool.
seed the playoffs 1 through 16, regardless of conference.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I
Play
can
in
see that.
tourney for 8
Yeah.
seeds.
It's a common one.
And are they addressing the run, the Trae Young, the run, and you stop and you let
Yeah.
someone hit you?
Yeah,
think
they're
so.
addressing that.
Are
I
they
think this
addressing
season they're
that?
starting that.
Yeah, that's
Thank God. They need
an
to. address
offensive
that.
foul.
That's a
so
big
fun.
one.
This
It's
is-
so annoying.
Chris
Yeah.
Paul does it too. Trae Young lets you do it
James
all the
Harden.
time.
all the
James
time.
Harden does it. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
We'll see how that gets implemented because, like
Yeah.
to Patrick's point about the the guys complaining to the refs, the players kind of own the floor, right? And if the refs could just take the power back a little bit on that, I think that would make the game better. That was my favorite one. That and the expand the 3-point line, expand the courts overall.
Yeah.
But I don't think that will ever happen.
Yeah, that won't happen, but it's just a thought.
A big one also says let the play continue on a shot clock violation.
Oh yeah, like instead of inbounding it, that'd be kind of cool.
I actually saw 3 different websites that say that.
That's a good one.
No, because I don't know. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, Joey and Chris, you guys got anything that you had thought of that you were going to add, or you kind of?
Yeah, I threw down one. It's less of like a game time change, but more of like a fan change. So All-Star Weekend, they do a lot of 3-point contest, skills challenge, all that dunk contest. I want to see a 1v1 tournament on All-Star Weekend.
Ooh.
And it's open to anybody. It's not just the All-Stars. So like you get kind of like you do for the dunk contest, as these guys can go in, right? Because there's all these guys that are trash talking and talking about their handles and talking about, they've got the best, what do they call it, the best bag or whatever it is, and all this stuff. Like I would love to see just for 2 hours on All-Star Saturday, just like a 1v1 tournament, seed it out, whatever you want, first to 5 and just, round robin it until there's one guy left. I think that'd be pretty awesome to watch.
That'd be sweet. You're talking about NBA players, though, right? Not just like randoms. You're talking about anybody.
Yes. No, I'm talking about NBA players.
Okay. For a second there, I was like, oh, like anybody can just show
I remember
up.
Archie Diacono beat Levine
Exactly.
last season,
See?
going into last year. So that's
See?
a great tournament idea.
Yeah.
That would be
I agree.
fun, like in between something or on Saturday night.
So
I don't think I had
Okay.
anything that wasn't sad anymore. I know my big thing is I just want the season shorter. I like a tight season, 60,
My
50 games. Go ahead.
So
Chris.
my thing is, I watched the basketball tournament. I don't know if anybody tuned into that, the TBT. And my favorite thing with that tournament was the Elam ending. The Elam ending is so entertaining, guys. It's insane. Like they have a target score at the end of the game. Whoever gets there first wins. It disregards like game following. It disregards, just a lot of these boring aspects of the game that make the last 2 minutes of a game last 30 minutes. So Elam ending. Let's just do this. I think we're
For all games?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think we're really
I
like
like it.
10, 15 years away from seriously considering this because I think there's just a lot of math that goes into it that people are kind of, hesitant to really accept.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a confusing thing to understand still.
Confusing
But
fan to watch, yeah.
seriously, like it's just when you play up to a certain score, it makes basketball so much more enjoyable than playing based on a clock. So
What should that score be?
well, it depends on how the game is flowing. It depends
Oh.
on what happens in the first 3 quarters, and then they add
Okay.
8 points to whoever's winning. So then that team has an advantage. So it actually makes the first 3 quarters
Oh.
valuable in a way.
Yeah.
and
I like that.
but at the end of the game, then you still have an advantage, but the other team can still come back. So
I like it.
It's kind of how they've done the All-Star game the past 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they
had the
did it last
24.
year. I think they did it last year too, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they should keep doing that. And then, I guess at 10, 15 years when we're still doing the pod, we'll play this back. Elam ending got implemented. They expanded the courts.
We called it.
The referees took the power back.
There's no fouling out.
No fouling out is
fouling
so
out.
good. That because it does change the game, man. Even if, like you said, it doesn't really like a guy can get 4 fouls over, but if he's got to sit minutes, the lineups have to change, and it changes all the dynamic of the game. And it to me, it would be very interesting to just leave guys out there and see what happened. But
Yeah.
I think on that we can move to our third topic tonight. Joey, we'll probably throw to you for this one a little bit, but our main question here is: are the Bulls a top 5 franchise? Is that what we said, or a top 3 franchise?
I think we're changing the top 5, right?
I think we can change
It
it
was
and make
top
it top
3.
5. Yeah. It was top 3.
Yeah,
It was
I
top
think
3. The original
top
question is
3.
top 3, but are they top 5? So Joey, I know you kind of had maybe a little spreadsheet here. Chris, you still have it up,
I got
right?
it up. Just share the screen.
All right, I'm going to
Guys,
share the
just in the
screen
back.
for if you guys are joining us on the stream. All 2 of you. It's great.
There's 2 people
And,
here.
boom! It's there on the screen. It's very hard to see. Uh-oh.
Anyways,
It's all good. Go full screen. You can see it.
let me zoom this in then.
Joey, drive it.
All right. So the question was, I think it's from Richie, actually. Are the Bulls a top 3 franchise? We've expanded it to top 5 because I think it makes us all feel better about ourselves. So I just went through kind of what I thought was the top categories: so wins, win percentage, playoff appearances, championships, championship percentage, all-stars, and Hall of Famers. The all-stars and Hall of Famers are kind of goofy. Basically, if a person ever made an all-star team, if they switched teams, they were still considered an all-star for that. That's how Basketball Reference had it done. So some of these numbers are a little bit high.
How Hall of Famers determined? Because the Pelicans had 0.
So they've had nobody that's ever played for them that has ever become a Hall of Famer, according to Basketball Reference.
Wow. Well,
So-
they haven't been around that long either.
Yeah.
Or are they considering the Hornets, right? Or
No,
two
so the
of them?
Hornets would have went right to the Hornets.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's why I was thinking like
That's
Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
So it's kind of the numbers may look kind of off, but
Well,
everybody
they'll have
dealt-
Anthony Davis and Zion.
everybody deals with the same thing, right? At all,
CP.
every team was under the same circumstances, so everything got a weight assigned to it. I'm considering championships, championship percentage, as the most important aspects when determining the weight of a franchise and how important they are, or in terms of like not real popularity, but in terms of
How
you
good
know,
they've been.
just top franchise for the league as a whole. So based on my math, I'm begrudgingly going to say that the Celtics are the top franchise, coming in with the most championships, I guess tied with the Lakers most championships, but their championship percentage is higher, so they have been to 4 less playoffs, but succeed on the same level of championships. Lakers are a close second. And then the dark horse that I did not see coming, but yeah, after the Celtics and the Lakers, there's a pretty big drop off. The Warriors are third with their very recent success, also worth $4.7 billion as a franchise value. The Spurs come in next at 4, which I think makes really good sense based on their run that they had when we were all growing up. And then at number 5 is our lovely Chicago Bulls.
Just squeaking in.
Who have a low number of championships considering the amount of playoff appearances they've had. I think there should maybe be, at least one more in there from Derrick Rose's year. I'm just going to slide through on that. But yeah, coming in at 5. So I think that's pretty impressive considering they only have six championships. But yeah, after number 5, it falls off pretty drastically. But in terms of just looking at this, I think my biggest surprise was the Warriors. I would have thought, just without looking at anything, that the Knicks would have been a little bit higher, just based on their longevity and the way that the league talks about them. In my head, and now looking at the numbers, it makes absolutely zero
Haven't won
sense.
anything.
Right, like it makes perfect sense. Like why would the Knicks
43 playoff appearances to 2 champion? Like
yeah, like they shouldn't be there. But just before I started, I was like, oh, the Knicks will probably have a fairly good chance. Just forgot about the Warriors. So yeah, anybody?
I like the
counter
Warriors
that,
pick. So like
just
before,
give me a gut
before
feeling here.
before the Curry era, like Chris Mullin. Man, I thought I was going to couple more names than Chris Mullin. Joe Barry Carroll is the name I know.
Mitch Richmond.
They had that Baron
Nick Richmond,
Davis.
yeah.
They had that Baron Davis.
We believe.
Well, that was,
Yeah,
I'm talking about like the
Davis,
70s or 80s
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Like that's.
They had Tim
I
Hardaway.
think that's what helps with Tim Hart. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Anthony. That's why you're here. So the Warriors kind of makes this. I just want to highlight that the Suns and the Jazz have 30 playoff appearances and zero wins. It's incredible to see that. The Pacers and the Nuggets, like Pacers, that's par for the course. Like you understand them every year. They're the 5 seed. They lose in the first or second round, and they're not going to win it. So
I think
it's
maybe
interesting
that's
to see
something that I should go back in here and consider is the Jordan factor and the LeBron factor, because looking at the Jazz
and the Suns
and the Suns, like
Suns.
the reason they have those playoff appearances and no championships is because of Jordan, and the reason
Jordan factor.
it's like the Jordan
And
factor.
Pacers.
So like the Pacers too, yeah,
Reggie Miller.
right. Reggie doesn't have one, so
Yeah,
And
I don't know.
the Knicks too.
the Knicks, yeah. See,
Yeah,
A lot of teams.
they're number 3 already. We already got them there. See,
that's why the Bulls are
tough.
5. And Bulls really, I would have put the Bulls above the Warriors. I don't know
about the
anymore, though.
Warriors.
Like just because the last 20 years have been so
Yeah.
not awful, but like lackluster, underwhelming. I think is the best
For the
term.
Bulls.
For
But
the
see,
Bulls.
I heard this argued on another podcast that the Bulls' history is just Jordan. That it's literally that one era.
Artis
and that's-
Gilmore.
That's
I
why.
mean,
Jerry Sloan.
Go
Bill
ahead,
Wennington.
Richie. You just
That's
let
why I
me-
asked the question.
Bob
That's
Love.
why I posed the question, because I think a lot of people's gut reaction would say for sure yes.
Yeah, that was
But
my
then
gut
if you
reaction.
kind of take out the Jordan era, then what else have we done? I would ask this question before these recent trades. I got very frustrated the past 20 years or so when the Bulls haven't historically made big moves in
Yeah.
like in the postseason and stuff. We're a top 3 market in the country, but it's been difficult for us to bring in talent, which is frustrating. I understand people want to go to LA. I mean, no one wants to go to the Knicks because the Knicks are terrible. So they should just
Their
be
owner is
ashamed that.
bananas. That's why. Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's why. I mean, the Spurs have been pretty impressive. Like I looked up some stats. They have the highest win percentage in the NBA at 62%. They have the 4th highest like playoff win percentage at 55%. And out of the 44 seasons since the merger, they've only missed the playoffs 5 times. I don't know if that counts for last time.
And
but
how
they
many
missed
years
last
is that?
year. 44 out of 44.
Wow, okay. That's
So
insane.
that's insane.
That's
Yeah, that's just
And then they made the playoffs 22 years in a row, which is the highest streak in the NBA. All of this is really impressive, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah, I would put the Spurs over the Warriors. I mean, like the Warriors, obviously recent success, but when we're trying to think about their past players, I mean, Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway, been a lot of great NBA players. I don't know if those guys are super high. That's not really
Yeah, they're not
legendary
even 75.
status.
Yeah.
So to me, I think Spurs for their sustained excellence would be above. But I think like when your point, Joey, saying about you're expecting Knicks to be higher, I do think it kind of depends on, are you looking at overall success or like global brand recognition? So I think if we're talking like global brand recognition, then I would say Bulls are number 3 after Celtics and Lakers, and then maybe Knicks are number 4. So I feel like, there's kind of different ways of how you're looking at like all-time great franchises.
Yeah, it's a good point. So the Knicks are technically the most valuable franchise according to Forbes. So they're rated at $5 billion.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So yeah, if you're looking at like global popularity, I mean that definitely comes into play. They would be first, Warriors second, Lakers third.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you guys. I think that the Warrior stuff is so recent. It's the last 10 years since like Steph's been there that they've kind of blown up to this level. I mean, I still like that run is incredible. You can't really argue with it. It is kind of similar to the Jordan run, but
yeah, I think too though, like the Warriors, and we talked about this before, is like I feel like they've created the next generation of basketball players. Like the way that Steph changed the game is like what kids grew up with. Like, Richie mentioned AI at the beginning of the show. Like that's how, we model our games off of, the guys that we grew up watching. And now you're going to have a whole group of kids that are going to have seen Steph and Clay, and that's how they're going to play. And, in 15 years, that's what we're going to be watching in the NBA, is almost like little mini clones of these guys.
shooting from deeper and deeper.
It's going to be it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why we have to move that 3-point line out further.
That was a good idea. All right, man. Any other kind of last, maybe different looks at at ranking those teams or anything like that you guys have?
I mentioned the Timberwolves before. I don't know if anyone is surprised that they're last. Like, I think, there's like 5 teams you could expect to be last. Timberwolves are one of them. Magic. These are kind of like, the Clippers being this low is a little interesting.
Yeah, but they haven't been.
Well, no, it's not, because they've
They were
actually
bad
been
for a
good
long
for
They were
time.
bad for a long time.
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
like
bad
a
forever.
joke. The
But
Clippers were, yeah.
the Players Tribune article with Blake Griffin is one of the best reads, talking about how that franchise was run. So, but Brooklyn being this low too, that's probably going to rise. I don't know. Nothing much else to say. Like, this is just.
Yeah,
just
great
like-
work by Joey, man. Go ahead.
And
There's only a
interesting
couple
tidbit.
teams that could be up top anyway.
Yeah, it's maybe 5 or 6 handfuls of the handful
Yeah,
of teams. That
I would
really-
have the Spurs probably third in my opinion, just because they've been consistent since they've been in the NBA, and then I probably have the Bulls fourth just because the Jordan era, and like you said, the Warriors has kind of been irrelevant, like you guys said, the last few seasons, and then before then they really weren't doing much. Before they had Will Chamberlain back in the day. I mean, who cares about? I mean, that's so long ago. I mean. Nobody remembers
Yeah,
that.
what
I remember that guy.
That was so long ago.
Who is that?
Who is that?
Yeah,
I
guy?
just
Who's
realized
that guy?
I just realized with these rankings though, Joey, you got the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm mentioning the Timberwolves again at 0, but like they were the Minneapolis Lakers, the original Lakers.
Yeah.
With George Mikan, they were running through championships back in the 60s and
Those went to the
late
LA.
50s.
Shit. Put him at number 4.
Yeah, really, they
Put
should
him
be
up there.
more.
It
Yeah.
should be bumped up. No, I
Bump 'em.
like it because Joey went deep with the stats, and then kind of us talking it out. I really kind of agree with the way we kind of settled it out with like Boston 1, 2, Spurs 3, Bulls 4, and then Golden State 5. I think that was a good way. Kind of Anthony laid it out was a
Maybe,
a great way to
yeah.
put it.
I do think the Lakers should be 1, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think Lakers should be 1.
I do not want Celtics at number 1. I kind of want
No.
to change that now. Anyways, so yeah, great list,
Lakers,
Joey.
yeah.
Appreciate
I think we
the
figured it out.
effort
Lakers 1, Celtics 2, Spurs 3.
here. Good job, good effort.
Bulls
Good job,
4.
good effort. Bulls 4 and Golden
Warriors
State 5.
I think
I
that
like it.
works. I'm in on
I think
that.
that works, man. I think we have named the top 5 franchises of all time. Getting things done here at the Box Out Boys. All right. Well, with that, let me close that out so we can all come see our beautiful faces. All right. Let's move on to hot takes. This should
Yes.
be fun.
Hey, can you go to Richie first? He
Oh.
said he had a hot take that he thought was going to get him kicked off the pod.
Oh yeah, he did mention it a little earlier.
Let's
All right,
hear
so
this.
Richie, you've been called upon. Let's get this
Okay.
take. Your hot take.
Let me just preface this by saying I don't think this is going to happen, but this is my hot take. Okay.
No,
This
no,
is
no,
what-
you can't preface that. I just I
Okay,
decline
fine, fine.
the
This
preface.
is what's going to happen. You heard it. You heard it now. You heard it from me
Manifest it.
first. Kyrie Irving, he's going to refuse to get vaccinated, and he's not going to be able. He's not allowed to play in New York, so he's not going to be able to play this season. The Nets are going to want to win right away. So, what if the Nets trade 1-for-1 with the 76ers for Ben Simmons because they
Okay, so-
already have scoring. They could afford to not. They don't need him to score in the end. They don't need that. They need to win right away. There's more pressure on the Nets to win right away than there is the 76ers. The 76ers, they're not winning this year no matter what. Even if Ben Simmons comes and plays, which he just says he's not going to, they're not going to win. I'm sorry. Maybe they'll do fine, but they're not going to win. But with Kyrie and Embiid, you can develop along that team. That is a stacked team. Even if you don't play, even if he doesn't play this season, COVID's not going to last forever. I think it's kind of a win-win for both, and that's my hot take.
Brooklyn would have done that trade, but Kevin Durant said no.
But what if Kyrie doesn't play, and you have
Kyrie said he's not playing if he gets traded?
But I heard that Kyrie
but he might not play either way.
he was at practice yesterday, I think.
He can
Maybe he got
practice.
back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Like it's weird though. Like Richie, I like your point with that. Like if he doesn't, I kind of want to. I like to think about that for like other players like Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Isaac and Michael Porter Jr. All these guys are Bradley Beal, but Kyrie. I think at the end of the day, Kyrie will get vaccinated. I'm gonna go against that point.
I don't think he is.
No, I don't think he
I
is.
think he's kind of more.
I don't
out
think
there
he
than
is.
the other people.
I don't think he's going to.
I don't think he's going to do it.
He's a
No,
flat earther.
but he's gonna
He's
gonna
a flat
play.
earther.
Yeah,
They're gonna
Earth be
figure
flat over there. He's not.
World be
Sit-
flat. Yeah.
The one thing that I like, Richie, I love this. Because I want to get Ben Simmons traded, and I think that would be a great trade, and I think it would be awesome. Again, it's not going to happen. Like, it's bonkers, but it is.
Could
like,
happen.
It could be so juicy. It would be so juicy. I would love it for the storylines to love. But like, all right, I don't know how regulations are going to change throughout the year. This is months away. But there's a hypothetical. Let's say it's Brooklyn versus Golden State. Kyrie couldn't play in that series if that was a finals series because of the regulations. And it's like, what would you like? Would you just legitimately not have your second or third best player on your team because of what's going on? And like I said, we didn't want to get too deep in the COVID stuff, but it's just a weird question going into the season. I love the trade ideas. Any of you guys got any thoughts on?
They said that if a visiting player is not vaccinated, they could still play though, right? Like so, like if a player's not vaccinated and goes to Golden State, can he still play?
It said, yeah.
Right.
Oh, they said
so,
yeah.
that.
So technically, if that's the case, Kyrie would be able to play in Golden. If they were in the final, he could tell he wouldn't be able to play because he's an away player.
Oh, that's weird.
It's a weird way they had it set up. So like visiting players could not be vaccinated and play, but the home player has to be
team,
vaccinated.
that is really
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I read about. Apparently, they say it's because like technically you're like beholden to the labor laws of the city that you live in, whereas if you're just
Ah.
visiting player, you're not like
Right.
beholden to the labor laws of San Francisco or whatever.
Doesn't make sense to me though, but
No.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, let's not get. I don't want to get too deep into this because I think there's still a lot to be figured out with
Yeah.
COVID. Interesting hot take though. Here,
Yeah.
I'm
good.
gonna
All right.
host this. Let's move on to Patio. What's your hot take? What do we got going on here?
I couldn't think of. I was trying to think of stuff, and I was just kind of making up things that I really didn't believe in to try and come up with hot takes. So I guess I'll just go off Richie. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I really hate Kyrie Irving. Just gonna put that out there. I think he's got to be like maybe my least favorite player of all time. Just how smart. Like I've never seen someone who thinks he's so smart but is actually so dumb. It's just infuriating. I can't stand him.
Yeah, I think making that 3-pointer in game
Yeah.
7 would probably like
Game
solidified it too. Made
Yeah.
it so much worse.
You know what's
Yeah,
weird?
great.
What's really weird is he, and up until like the last couple seasons, we really kind of got off the deep end. He, and I would say, still is one of my favorite players to watch.
Yeah.
I love his game, but yeah, I'm kind of with you where there's like this stuff where I'm like, dude, come on, man, just like. I get it. I get where he's coming from a lot of times on some of the, especially like on the social activism stuff that he does, and he puts a lot of things forward. There's a lot of really good things, but then he also has some stuff that just bonkers. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. You have a potential to win a championship. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like that. Anthony, what do you got, man?
I like how it's not even like a hot take. It's just a opinion.
Lukewarm takes. we said?
So I'm like Pat. I was thinking of things I really couldn't think of like a really hot take. Just one thing I would say to pick the Bulls to at least win a round in the playoffs.
Ooh.
I think with Philly, with Ben Simmons, they might kind of drop down in the rankings this year just because we don't know if Ben Simmons is playing this year or where he's getting traded to. So just wishful thinking, I guess. Like hopefully, maybe I think the Bulls can at least get top 4 seed and maybe win a round.
Beat the Pacers in round 1. Yeah.
I mean, Pacers, or depending who they match up with, if they don't, not match up with Brooklyn or
Well, the 4 or 5.
anybody else, I feel like they could probably beat in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Knicks, Hawks, Heat.
I don't know about the Hawks though. Or the Heat. That'd be tough.
The Heat are going to be tough, though.
Yeah,
Come
Heat
on.
would be tough.
No, the Bulls can be better than the Heat.
I think
They can be, but
They
I don't
can
know if
beat
they
them.
will be.
We talked about this a few weeks ago now, but the Heat and Bulls on paper look competitive. And if the Bulls can gel quickly, I think they could beat the Heat, when they play each other, when they match up in a 7-game series. But I don't think it's that hot of a take. It's more of a warm.
Lukewarm.
Yeah,
takes,
I didn't have a
It's
hot
not lukewarm, but it's more like simmering. It's more like, yeah,
Simmering. Yeah, you got the bubbles on the bottom.
it's something.
It's a little
But yeah,
bit,
I think a lot of people are optimistic with this take. I like it.
Chris, Joey, you guys got hot takes?
I'm gonna go with my hot takes. I've been iffy on this one. Like the 76ers. So there's just news that Ben Simmons is gonna sit out the season if he doesn't get traded.
Yeah.
This has to happen. But my thing is, even if he sits out, I think the Sixers can be a top 5, top 6 team, even without him, with Seth Curry, Matisse Thybulle, progressing Tobias Harris. I guess he'll be there. He'll be fine.
Yeah,
but
I don't think so.
that's not a hot take. I guess maybe it's a lie. If it's a hot take, if Ben Simmons doesn't play, the Sixers will still make the playoffs. That's my take there. I don't care to talk about that one. My one I really want to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to make in. Lock it in.
Oh, I'll
Top
lock
10
it
team.
in.
Let's go, guys. This
Wait,
team is
make the
ridiculous.
playoffs or
Hold
make
on.
the play in?
Play in.
Which trade?
I can't. No, I'm not going to say top 6. But let's say they.
No, but they can win the play-in game. You can say they're going to make the 8. They're going to make
Is
the
it that?
8.
If they get home court for the play-in.
It's not.
No,
It's not a hot
like
take.
they
Come
eventually
on,
win
stand behind
the
it.
play-in.
I think they could win a play-in game. Absolutely. I
Do you
think, if
they will be
Anybody win a play-in game?
Yeah.
It's one game.
No, so they'll make the playoffs.
They're not even
but
be
it's making
close to the
playoffs,
play-in
right? So
tournament,
technically,
but-
no. Yeah, of course. Oh, they absolutely will be. They'll be a top
hang
10
on.
team.
Which
This feels like a
which
jersey
deal
bet.
of the offseason really really made this for you? Was it Markkinen or was it
Markkinen.
Denzel Valentine?
Yes,
You know,
and yes.
Was it
Guys,
No,
have you seen ex-Bulls
no.
players? Have you seen Bobby Portis? How's Bobby Portis doing nowadays?
That's true.
Have we seen this? Wendell Carter when he went to Orlando?
Cameron
He killed
Payne.
it for them.
Yeah.
Cameron
Can't
Payne.
Payne stop
Payne.
bringing
He
up
got
only
paid.
wounds,
He
man.
played
It's
a
a
part.
wounds.
What I'm saying is Denzel just said today that he can guard positions 1 through 4, and that Chicago's he's a winning
There
player.
you go.
And
Come on.
We're-
so I'm excited. Lori's been all about like, hey,
How do I take Chris
he's
out of
got
the
more talent.
Yeah, how do
out
you?
of the stream? How do I take him out of the stream?
And folks, I'll leave it enough with Jared Allen, Sexton, Love, the Sex Land. Darius Garland's
Land.
going to take a leap this year. He's one of my leaping lads. I'll talk about in a minute. Isaac
That's a hot
Okoro,
take.
the
That's a
great.
It's a hot take.
So
Hey, I
So
just
we
wanna
finally have a
mention-
hot take.
I just want to mention on the Denzel Valentine front, if anybody doesn't know, he's an aspiring rapper and he has a YouTube channel where
Yeah.
he has rap songs. He has 146 subscribers.
Oh wow.
He's a
Wow.
professional basketball player. So, Chris, you
our
ride
goal
that
is
out,
to
man.
surpass Denzel's.
All right, that's our goal. Please
Our goal.
subscribe to our YouTube page. We're getting up there.
Surpass Denzel.
Joey, you got a hot take?
My hot take is that the Bulls will have 2 All-Stars this season.
Okay, there's like
They
4
should.
options.
Wait,
here,
didn't they
so.
last season?
Technically.
They had Levine last year. That's
And
then
Vooch, right?
Well, Vooch-
Yeah, before he got
Oh,
traded. Yeah.
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 So I think they're gonna have 2 All-Stars this year. That's my hot take.
That's
not hot.
I don't know.
You
It's
think
not a safe
3?
take.
3 would be hot.
That's
3 would be
not
hot.
okay. That's not.
DeMar,
Well, they got one
DeMar,
seed, they'll get
DeMar,
three. I had 4.
Vooch.
Kyle Korver was it?
Yeah. So who's it gonna be? You want me to lock in the players? I can lock
I
them
think
in.
you should lock in.
Lock him
I
in.
think you should
Lock
lock
him in.
them in.
I think you should lock in.
Yeah.
Record this.
Alonzo
No.
Oh,
and Levine.
now
Oh,
that's hot. Okay, that's a
I
hot
like
take.
it. That is pretty hot. Lonzo.
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 That's a-
Actually,
that's a
should've been
breakout
hot
Point
take.
guard
year.
position is so deep. Darius Garland.
Two.
And I did not talk about Darius Garland.
Lonzo's going to be throwing oops
get him out of the
every
chat.
day, all day. Him and Levine are going to be going ham.
Oh man.
It's going to be great. That's it.
Wait, so you got
That's my
sorry,
hot
I'm
take.
cutting you off here. You got Levine, you got Ball, you
Lonzo
got
Ball and
Vooch.
Zach Levine are in the All-Star game.
He doesn't. He
this
said
year.
Vooch is not in.
It's my hot take.
You should have said 3 because I think he can Vooch too. It's possible. I don't know. We'll see.
Nah.
If they're like a 1 seed, I could see them in 3, but that's probably the only way.
Yeah, they'd have to be a
Come
one
around
seed.
February, they're going to be like a 4 seed. Going to get 2 in.
This is gonna be. We'll be watching this for sure. My only hot take. I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. One of these days, I'm gonna do a full breakdown. But LeBron's the GOAT, and it's not even close. That's the hottest part. It's not even close. We're gonna look back in like 15
We need
years,
it,
and we're
yeah,
gonna
we gotta
laugh
find
that we
it.
ever thought he wasn't the GOAT. That's all I'm saying.
You need to do like a YouTube video on this. I know you're getting into video editing lately. We need a YouTube video on
I'm
this.
telling you, man. I've
That's
looked at the stats. It's there. He's gonna have every counting stat ever. He's gonna. It's not even gonna be close. That's all I'm saying. But all right, let's move on. Do we want to do freestyle tickle your fancy, or do we kind of just do that? You want to go to leaping lads here, Chris? Or do you got something?
I can go. I can go into both. I got a couple things here. So with my tickles my fancy, what tickles my fancy is
Oh my god!
the one player who could potentially really break out unexpectedly this
If you
year.
say fucking Darius
like-
Garland,
He was about to.
he was about to.
He's on the
It's Darius
list.
Garland.
It's
I
right
heard
on the list. I got 4 names. So like going back from last year, Jeremy Grant, Christian Wood, Julius Randle, guys that have been in the league for a minute, and they just all of a sudden took off with another team, or whatever the situation, how it developed. My choices right now, and I'm wondering if you guys have any others to add to this list, is DeJounte Murray. Love DeJounte Murray. I think not many people know who he is still, and he's kind of the biggest talent on that team besides maybe Keldon Johnson. But with the Spurs, Darius Garland again with Cleveland, Jaren Jackson Jr. If this guy can stay healthy, he's got the talent and the skill to really become like a superstar or all-star kind of caliber player. And then Wendell Carter Jr. Seeing what he did in Orlando at the second half of last season, I really think Wendell can take a leap and become the player we thought he would be with the Bulls with Orlando instead. What do you guys think?
I like
the
Wendell
Jaren
Carter,
Jackson
Yeah.
one.
Anthony, go ahead, man. What tickles your fancy, or you got any leaping lads? Any guys you think are make a leap this year?
I didn't even think about this one, to be honest.
Chris added in late. It's all right. It's a late
Yeah,
edition. So you're good. If you don't
I
got
don't
anything,
even yeah,
we'll
you
come
skip
back.
me. I don't. Yeah, I'll come back to me on
Rich
that
or
one.
Pat, you guys got anything for this one?
I could. All right, I'll throw something out there, but this was
Yes.
added late. So a leaping lad. I'm gonna pick someone who I watched play in the playoffs last year and who I liked a lot. Dylan Brooks for the Grizzlies. I loved his energy. His defense was on point. I think he plays great next. I think he's great. I think he plays great next to John Morant.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies should be another good team this year. I mean, I don't, they're not going to win it all, but they're going to be in the playoff race probably. I hope Dylan Brooks has a great year this year. I really liked him.
Well, that's a good pick for a leaping lad. I like that. He definitely was. He was a dog out there. He was kind of doing his thing.
He was a
Guarding
dog. He brought the
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah, he would be very interesting, and especially if they were in the playoff hunt or in some playing games, something like that. He'd be fun to watch. Pat,
Yeah, so I don't have a leaping lad, but I have kind of a random tickle my fancy topic, Bulls related. And so this is I saw a post on Reddit recently. It's about DeMar DeRozan and the fact that like for the vast majority of his career, he's had a negative plus minus. And for the past few years, a quite negative plus minus for the whole season, which I know they say plus minus for like individual games or small selection sizes can be misleading. But for year after year, having a negative plus minus, you don't really see that with too many considered above average players. And so I'm just curious. I haven't really watched DeMar DeRozan a whole lot the past few years, or really in general. And I'm just curious if you guys have any thoughts on why that might be. Is he an overrated player and not actually a positive contributor to winning? Or is that somehow misleading and you think he is a key contributor?
Yeah, no, that's really weird because I like you said, in a one game sample size or maybe even a playoff series, it is kind of misleading. But season long and multiple season longs, that is kind of telling you something. And I don't know. I mean, I know he was he's always kind of been a meh player for me, where he's kind of maybe in that Middleton kind of category, even though Middleton kind of proved himself this season, but kind of that range of a guy you're like, he's a name. I know people know who he is, but I don't know how good he is. Joey, man, what do you think, man?
That's a good call. I think the Middleton comparison, while obviously I think Middleton's a better player, it's fair. When he's on, he's on. When he's not, it's just kind of way down. I didn't know that stat, Pat, so that's a bit concerning. I've been trying to figure out since they did sign him, like what they signed him for. And maybe Chris or Anthony, you guys have a good thought on what, I haven't really heard them come out and say like what their thought process was behind him. Like they were very upfront about Vooch and Lonzo and Caruso. So I'm just kind of maybe a little bit concerned. I think when it happened, that was probably the one I think we all talked about on one of the pods. Is that's the one we weren't the most excited for. The only thing I've really heard is that his mid-range game. So I don't know if it's just another scoring option to try and take the pressure off of Levine and just kind of run some pick and roll with Vooch and Lonzo and make the defense have to choose where they go. But the Bulls are probably going to be one of those teams that are going to score. I mean, hopefully they're scoring, 115, 120 a night, and the defense isn't necessarily the most important thing that they have to focus on. So, and also, I mean, has DeMar been on really that good of teams?
I mean, he was on
Raptors
Toronto.
were pretty good.
They went pretty far with Toronto.
So
that was my first thought.
Outside of that, I mean, his time with the Spurs wasn't really.
Yeah, that's true.
So the thing with him with the Spurs, that's really where he developed his playmaking game. He played power forward a lot for them last year, and he kind of just facilitated the offense. He averaged 6 assists last year. I think like for the year before, and like he usually averages like 2 or 3. He was never really a passer. The thing with DeMar, he doesn't shoot threes. He doesn't play defense. And in the NBA, you want 3-and-D guys. He's the opposite of a 3-and-D guy. Why would you want this guy? So one thing that he does well, though, this is a guy that I follow on Twitter, MVP Paw. Shout out. He did it like a breakdown of DeMar DeRozan and how he actually makes every position better from an offensive rating standpoint. So like we're expecting big upgrades from Patrick Williams with him and Vucevic because of what he's able to do with the ball, and he's going to be a primary ball handler with Levine. So it's going to be Levine and DeMar DeRozan running the show. Like Lonzo's just going to be a catch and shoot kind of guy, I think. And well, he's going to take the ball as well, but not. I think it's going to be Levine and DeMar DeRozan. I think that's why they got him. But I mean, DeMar DeRozan's always been on my all you can have him team, and for those reasons that Patrick laid out. So I wasn't excited for it, but I'm trying to come around to it, because I'm going to watch this team.
Gotta believe.
I think just because I guess he's a veteran player, so like it's a fairly young team, so they want to bring out a veteran presence in there, possibly to just help lead the guys, even though he hasn't really won much. But I mean, I think he's been elite for a while, so and he doesn't have to be the main option. I mean, he's probably going to be third or fourth option on this team, so he kind of can just kind of be in the background, let the young guys do their thing and just kind of step in when needed. So we don't need him to like change the franchise. We just need him to, be productive and be a locker room presence, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be
that's the best part. Yeah, he's the fourth option, right? He can be the fourth or third option, really, behind Lonzo, or ahead of Lonzo. But he's also, I think he played with Vucevic in college at USC.
He did. I think I did hear that.
I didn't realize.
I heard that.
And
could be interesting.
Got some chemistry.
I'm excited for that, and we got some chemistry there.
All right, guys. Any other
about?
ticklish your fancies? We're tickling our fancies right now, man. What are we talking about? We're lost. Anything else we gotta close out, or before we close out here?
I got one more. I got the Leaping Lads.
All right, one more.
Do you want to do Leaping Lads? There's two. These are two different topics.
I
smushed
them. All right, do your
no, we did tickling fancies. That's like lower level guys. Leaping Lads. All right, these are guys that I think are going to take a leap to superstar status. Here are my 5: Luka, obviously, Tatum, Trae Young, LaMelo.
You're just naming superstars.
And then I got Bam Adebayo.
Those guys are kind of already.
Oh, wait, would you?
They're already there.
Tatum. I mean, Luka's already a superstar, probably.
Bam, I'm talking like top 5 status, like Trae Young getting to that Curry Lillard level.
So you're saying that like they're replacing
Luka going to like number 1. Luka's not number 1 right now. Like we wouldn't say Luka's number 1.
No.
Yeah,
Tatum, we keep putting like the top 15. Like really, he should be like a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
Honestly, Tatum could be considered better than LeBron after this season. Depending.
It's like the next generation.
Okay.
It's like the next generation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't help him, Richie. Don't help him. I hear what you're saying. No, actually, now that you explained it, I got it now. So those guys are going to kind of be, because you said Luka, Tatum, Adebayo. Who was the other guy you said?
Trae and LaMelo.
Trae and LaMelo.
I like LaMelo. We didn't even talk about the Hornets tonight.
Yeah.
The Hornets, man.
They got some guys.
They got some guys.
They have
that
like
Terry Rozier deal, man. What a bad deal.
They got a guy. Yeah, no, LaMelo actually is a pretty interesting.
Those are my Leaping Lads. I don't know. I think like these guys can pass guys like that. I didn't include like Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. I think all these guys can be better than those guys. There's like another tier that these guys can make coming into this year, and that's why I'm excited to watch these kind of guys.
That's fair.
I see what you're saying. A lot of like Bradley Beal and stuff. He's kind of like, he's great. Don't get me wrong, but he has kind of maintained his status along the league.
He's kind of peaked now.
I like the leap. He hasn't leaped to that next.
Yeah.
He can score 60 points and still lose. He doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand science.
Yeah.
Do we see like maybe a big change in the way the all-star teams look this season with a lot of younger guys and maybe less of the older guys?
No.
Ooh, that's a fun question.
I say no because you still have the fan aspect. I don't think you're going to see those changes yet until these players either stop playing or really just have drop-offs, like massive drop-offs.
Yeah, I think this gonna be an interesting year. This year and the following year, it's like, when's the turn gonna happen? Like the league is switching over, but we still have Lillard, we still have Harden, Curry, Luka, or I just said Luka. Anyways, yeah, he's a tough guy. God damn it. Anyways, Paul George, all these guys have been mainstays for the last 10 years, and it's gonna be hard to really butt in still right now.
No, I agree, man. All right. We think that's That's the show tonight.
Closing
Wrap
it
it.
out.
Wrap it.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, first off, thank you guys for joining us, Patrick, Anthony, and Rich. You guys were great. Loved it. Loved the conversation. Hopefully, we'll have you guys back soon. We'll make this a yearly thing. So, with that, that is all for us tonight. Join us next week for more NBA basketball. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Box Out Boys. Slide into those DMs. Watch us live on Twitch and YouTube Wednesdays around 8 at the Box Out Boys on Twitch and YouTube. Send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. Who knows, you might end up on the show. And as always, like, subscribe, and review wherever you're at or wherever you're listening to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, Adam, Patrick, Anthony, and Rich, I'm Titus. And until next time, box out. Let me see here.
All right, everybody, go to Audacity, click the stop square.